Hey everybody, I want to give you an update of where we are as a ministry with the student ministries at the Bridge Church. I'm going to be talking to parents and I'm going to be talking to students in two different forms. I want to give you some important information as we go forward with the plans that we have set for our student ministries as we go ahead. Right now, our student ministries team is working on a plan for transition as I leave my position at the Bridge Church and what the leadership structure is going to look like. So right now, we're going to be putting together a plan that's going to have an immediate focus for the next 2 months for the latter half of April and all of May. Then a near-term plan for engagement with parents and students from June to August, and then a short-term plan after that that'll be sort of a relaunch of student ministries in the fall with the new leadership structure that you'll have in place. Things may start to look a little bit different as we put those plans together. As we unfold them, we're going to let you know what those plans are. For now, what I'd like to let you know is there's a few ways that we have to try to engage parents and students. And this is where partnership is going to be critical. We need everybody on board. We need parents to be able to communicate with me and our leaders. We need students to communicate with their leaders, and I need to communicate with you. So as we unfold this, as the communication is going to be the critical piece to making this successful for everybody. Parents, this information for you is going to be important because there's three primary ways that we're going to be connecting with your students. Students, pay attention as well. Parents, the reason I'm addressing you is because we want to have you help be a catalyst for how we reach our students. So if you know these things are going to be happening, you can encourage your students to be available and create the time for them to be available. And the importance of that availability is for us being individuals who are imparting not only a relationship with your students, but also a spiritual component to keep them engaged. This is where we want to partner with you. So right now, the two platforms that we're going to be using are Discord and Zoom. You've already seen and heard about us using Discord. We are still fine-tuning the aspects of that and how we can plan to continue to use that as we go forward. But right now, mostly it is a connective relational piece. We have our leaders on there engaging students in conversation, playing games with them, both the video games that they are playing and but also having them share things like artwork, things that they're working on. We're asking very strategic questions about their life and things happening during their quarantine. We also have some active participation games that our leaders are doing as well to keep them engaged. That piece is critical. Parents, we want to make sure that we have time set aside for students to be able to engage this way, because that's what's going to open the door for our opportunities to get them engaged in God's Word again. So if you can set aside that time, right now the primary time for us to be doing Discord chats with students is going to be on Sundays from 6 to 7:30. Sundays from 6 to 7:30. This is going to be an engaging relational time with students. I hope you will encourage them to participate in that, because that's going to be the building block into the second part of what we are doing. Starting next week, we will be starting our teaching series again. Our teaching series are going to be taught primarily through Zoom. We will have a short time of engagement prior to our teaching time. I will be teaching, and our student ministry leaders will have a small, large group teaching segment that'll be about 10 to 15 minutes long. And then we have, through the technology we have with Zoom, we're going to have our students go into their small groups. We can actually break them up into individual groups in Zoom. So they're going to get engagement on Wednesdays, then they're going to get large group teaching, and then small groups. And so plan on that time as well, from about 6 to 7:30. Our target range for the time on Wednesdays is probably going to be more like 6 to 7. I know that this falls, both times that we have fall right in the middle of dinner time. And the challenge is those are the times where we used to feed kids dinner. If you can help us work around that, or have kids eat their dinner while they have their microphone on mute so they're not chewing during our teaching time or whatever the case may be. If you can help us work around those times, that would be great. We don't want to carry these things too late into the evening after dinner, and the reason for that is because we know that you have a new and busy schedule with homeschooling your kids and them doing distance learning, and we also want to respect the time of our leaders as well, as many of them are still working their regular jobs and they need to plan for their next day at work. And so we want to allow room for that as well. So Sunday nights, to recap, parents, Sundays at 6 to 7:30, Discord relational hangout time with students. Wednesdays, teaching time on Zoom from 6 to 7 to 7:30. We're going to play with that time as we go along. The third way that we're reaching out to students right now is through telephone, text, and messenger chats. So parents, know that we are reaching out to students these ways. If you would help us by asking students, hey, have you heard from your small group leader? Have they texted you? Have you responded back? Have they called you? Why don't you give them a call? This is a great way for you to partner with us to help stay engaged with your students as we go forward. So Discord, Zoom, and personal contact. Those are the three ways that we're connecting with your students. Now, students, what we want from you is to be what you've always been to us, family. We want you to see this as a valuable part of what you're doing in your day-to-day life. And so we want to encourage you to make time to be on Discord. We know it's a different type of relational connection, but we want it because we don't want you to lose connection with those in your small group, in your youth group, and with your leaders. Also, make a commitment to be involved on Wednesday nights through our Zoom teaching series, because right now more than ever, what you need is an experience with God, and we want to try to help facilitate that for you. And also, students, if your leaders call you, if they text you, respond to them. Pick up the phone. It may be an awkward conversation to start, but trust me, these people are invested in your lives. They're praying for you. They want the best for you, and we want you to participate with them. So make sure you're making time for that. The last thing I'll say to you is, parents and students, we want to make whatever resources we can available to you, whether it's family ministry teaching, where you can do family worship together through a video teaching and then some small group discussion. If it's Bible memory or Bible reading plans digitally, we want to make those things available. I need to hear from you what we can provide for you that's going to be most meaningful for you. It's great if I make a bunch of things available for you, but I don't know if they're effective or if they're necessary for you. You tell me what you need, and we'll do our best to facilitate those things. So this is the plan right now as we go forward for the immediate plan for April and for May. As we start looking into the near term of June through August, we'll start unrolling what those plans are going to look like for the summer. That will be largely dictated by what our government officials say and how we're able to meet. And so we're going to start working on a couple of different plans for that as well, especially for those who are going to be in leadership as we transition with me moving to New York. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or phone me. My information will be at the bottom of the screen here. I would be glad to connect with you and talk about these things as we go forward.